Good morning, everybody. This is the Roaming Prepper, and I was doing my daily walk. I kind of injured my knee a little bit on my run yesterday, and figured instead of running today, I'd give my knees a break because I'm not 20 years old anymore and I go running. I decided to kind of meander one of these houses under construction. So, a few things to think about. Um, First and foremost, make sure you're not interfering with the ongoing construction if you're going to peek at a house. Um, this neighborhood's still under construction, so they get a lot of people meandering homes. Few things to notice if you're going to buy a home, right? Your home's one of your most important preps. Highly recommend if you're getting a new build, ask them to insulate the walls. Our house is insulated. Also, insulate the roof. Um, because I'll tell you what, during the Texas freeze, even with the heater set low, so we wouldn't pull too much juice at the request of the county, our house stayed manageable because we had the spray and insulation up there and the spraying on the walls. Now, if you're taking shelter in an emergency in a home under construction, make sure it's stable. You don't want to go into something in a windy storm and the damn thing falls on you. Uh, so you want to make sure the ground is stable, the platform upon which the home is stable, and also that you have a complete roof to protect you from the elements. Now, in an emergency, if you are hiding in a home under construction like this, obviously the windows are a challenge because there are none. So you'd have to pick a spot in the house that would minimize your exposure. Um, you may even want to consider trying to finagle a way up there. But if you are buying the home, so I'm kind of covering two subjects: hiding in a house under construction in an emergency, and then just buying a house. Make sure you have enough electrical sockets. I'm a big fan of having natural gas. Now, this layout's a nice open layout. It's a cute house. And you see they have a gas fireplace. It's like a fake fireplace, right? But they didn't extend it to the back. And had it been me, to be honest, since I have gas here, I would have asked them to put it through the wall in the back. Now, why would I do that? Well, think about it. If the power goes out, typically natural gas runs on its own system. So if the power went out, I could still go outside and cook. I could install a kitchen out here. So a lot of people don't think about this. They get this funky looking, fake fireplace going here, and then they don't extend the gas line outside. And these houses have a little patio. I would extend it. That would be worth the money and put like a cooking area here. So then I'd have natural gas. I wouldn't be reliant on electrical. I'd have an alternate cooking source, and plus it's fun for hanging out. But you notice these are not reinforced because hurricanes out here are not common. Obviously, I'm in smack in the middle of Texas. In the Gulf Coast, there's a different design of the structure is designed differently so that it can take lateral hits from wind. So a lot of people move to the coast, they buy an older home, and they don't really think about it. And actually, there's the gas line right here. So see, they could have just run that right out there, and now you got the basis for an outdoor kitchen. When you're buying a home, also, like I said, the insulation is huge because in the summer, if you lose power, there's a grid down or just a damn blackout, which seems to happen more and more nowadays. It makes the house manageable. Otherwise, you just wind up scorching yourself. When we moved from Houston out west, we went from a 40-year-old, 45-year-old, like Cold War home to a very new, like 2-year-old home, and the difference in just the basic stuff. Uh, yeah, definitely insulate. So it works both ways. In the cold, like I said earlier, during the freeze, it was -10 here, which is unheard of for extended periods, even in this part of Texas. And even with the heater set moderately, the house was manageable. It was cold, we were in sweats, but I had friends who lived in older homes up here, and they were having pipes burst. It's just a mess. Speaking of that, the PEX piping is great. It's not as prone to damage. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong pipe. it's not as prone to freezing and bursting, and it's easier to replace if you have an issue. But make sure they insulate anything against the outer wall so it doesn't freeze. So like, oh, they were smart here. Okay, so you see what they did here? This is a good, oop, as I fall into a hole. Notice they drilled a hole through there, and then they brought the cold water down on the inside of the house, so it's not up against the wall where it would be exposed to freezing temperatures. And that's a good trait because it'll rarely get to freezing in here. If it does, you have a problem. And then they have the hot water. Almost fell in the potty is what I did because I was being stupid. Um, that would be a sight for YouTube. Let me see what else should we. Also, when you get a smaller home, especially if you're downsizing or you're just, the market is such that you don't have a home, you probably won't have a lot of room between the houses. So get creative with the space up here. While they're building it, if you're the one who's building the house, ask them once they're done with construction to lay some plywood there if it doesn't hit any of the cables. And I mean, you can't put amazing amounts of stuff up there, but you can put some and take advantage. Hey, good morning, Joe. Take advantage of that extra storage space. I mean, within reason, you don't want to collapse your own roof or anything. I'm trying to see these houses. This one seems, unfortunately, with a lot of these builders, they subcontract out, and some of them are amazing subcontractors, and sometimes they suck. Uh, but yeah, little things to think about if you're buying a new home. Uh, just from a preparedness mindset, that insulation is important. Having an extra gas option over there, and also I'm a big fan of the gas options in the kitchen. Like I said, the gas and the standard electrical typically run on different grids. So, being able to separate that and being able to use to cook when it's cold makes a big difference. Now, the only thing is, I bet you this house has one of those instant hot water heaters, not the tank, the one that heats as you on demand. Yeah, they're going to have a heat on demand. They're not going to have a tank. So that's great, and that you get really quick hot water. It's going to go wind up over there, actually. But on the flip side, if the power goes out, you don't have hot water, period. So again, something to think about from a prepping standpoint. My old home in Houston had a gas hot water tank, the old style one in the attic. So when Ike hit and Harvey hit and they took the power out, we still had hot water. So again, little things to think about if you're part of the building process. Now, what happened to us, we were relocated and we kind of bought a house that was already built. Fortunately, that guy did the installation throughout the house and he did the spray-in on their attic and the roof, and that made a huge, huge difference. So anyway, guys, just a pointer to think about if you're gonna get a new home. Those little amenities like having gas run out the back so you can cook makes a big difference. I will catch all of y'all later. I'm hoping to have a live this evening if the gods of war and work make it happen. So and oh yeah, here's a good example. Also from a prepping standpoint, if your water pipes are coming down along the wall, make sure your builder insulates them. Because the last thing you want is you have a blackout and your water pipes all burst open in cold because it got too cold in the house. Be good, Joe. We'll see y'all later. Take care, guys. And I will talk to you all this evening. Take care.